I've got a fun breath that actually you can use your hands with. So we'll start doing that, okay, Felix? All right. So it's called humming breath, and this breath is very good for focus, for doing before bed. People say it helps with insomnia, helps you to go to sleep. It could be good for anxiety as well and depression. So it sounds kind of funny if someone was walking by when you were doing it, but humming breath, oh my goodness, Oscar, settle down. Is it's gonna sound like humming. So the first part is you're gonna like that. So you take an inhale in. Oh, you can't see me when I walk forward, can you? You're gonna take an inhale in, and then you're gonna go. And then you take an inhale in when you're done with them, and you do it again. Now, the hand part is you're going to take your thumbs and bring them to your ears, right on the side of the ear, and gently push in that little flap. Not a ton, like you don't have to block it totally. And now try the humming just with this. So go. See how that feels? Yep. Then, I wish you weren't muted so I could hear you, but okay, fine. Then we're going to take the pinkies and put them right at the lips, at the edge of the lips, the corner. And then the ring fingers at the nostrils. You can let the middle fingers just rest on your cheekbones. And then the pointer finger, index finger, and just let it rest on the eyelids or the eyebrow, kind of like that. So you get to play with your hands and with your voice. So now you can close your eyes. They call this withdrawal of the senses when we're closing our ears, we're closing our nose, we're closing our eyes. Now you're not pushing so hard you can't breathe, by the way. It's just a gentle push, like it's maybe halfway closed. Same thing with the ears. You don't have to push super hard. So let's try this together. Inhale. And then exhale as you And as soon as you're done, take an inhale and begin again. We're going to do about 10 rounds. Are you ready? So inhale. Your hum might not be as long as mine, or it might be longer, and that's fine. Whatever your hum is in terms of duration is great. Keep going, inhaling and Notice how it sounds like a buzzing bee. They call it bee's breath or humming breath. Keep going, inhaling. Inhale.
Yeah.
Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Inhale. And now if you get tired, or your hands get tired, or your arms get tired, you can put your hands down and do it like this. Inhale. And one more. And maybe you just do the ear part. Inhale. And that's humming breath. So that is one way that we can play with our hands and do a humming, which is good for the vocal cord. Maybe you felt that vibration in there, waking it up a little bit. And we'll do some more. All right, let's take our fingertips and bring them together. And this is called Hakini Mudra. Push your thumbs towards each other. Push your index finger or pointer finger towards each other. and then the middle fingers, and the ring fingers, and the pinkies. So it's like you're holding a ball of energy, pressing the right hand towards the left and the left towards the right. Make sure you're not pushing so hard that you're tensing other things in your body. Relax your tongue and your jaw so you're feeling your strength. Now go ahead and push the ridges of your fingers in towards each other. And the palms are opening up. And then let's open it up again, pushing fingers in, palms away from each other, and then bring the ridges back towards each other. Good. One more time, pushing fingertips into fingertips, relaxing shoulders and elbows, and then push the ridges of your fingers in towards each other, and then push your palms in towards each other. So now we've got palms pressing into each other, and elbows are by your side and slightly down. And so they're relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. We're going to open this up now to a lotus mudra. So lotus mudra looks like this. We're blossoming the lotus. That's it. So the what do we call this? The outline of the palms and the pinkies and the thumbs are pushing in towards each other. That's lotus mudra. And lotus is the symbol of out of the mucky mud comes a beautiful flower. You can close the petals on your lotus and then open them up. And close them and open them. Another nice thing to do with this mudra is kind of put it in front of your heart or right just below like where your rib cage sets. Either way is fine. And you can do some breathing. So let's take a breath in and then exhaling out through the nose, breathing in and breathing out. Breath is in and breath is out. All right. Let that go. Let it go. And take your thumb on the inside of your palm. Wrap your fingers around and circle the wrists. This is always a good one. I'm always shocked by how tight this area on top of the hand gets. Top of the hand, back of the hand, however you want to refer to it. And then reverse your circle. As you breathe, boy, these two are very interesting this morning. And then open and close your hands a few times. Now here's another one we can do. One more with the hands. So bring the thumbs on the inside the palm and then open it up. Take the index finger and try to touch the palm and open it up. Middle finger and open it up. Ring finger and open it up, and pinky. I find this very hard, by the way. Just saying, this is not easy. So you can kind of play with that through your day, just going one finger after the next. I think I'm tight really here, which makes this a little bit harder to do, but it's a very good thing to do. All right. You know, guys, I'm going to move you over here because they can't see very well. Okay, so you're over there. All right. Sitting towards the edge of the chair. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, lift your heels up. And then exhale and lower them down. Inhale, heels rise up. Really feel, you don't need to look at them, but feel your toes as they press down into the mat or the earth or the carpet, wherever you're at. And then exhale and slowly lower the heels down. Without looking at your toes, inhale and lift them. Spread them. And then place them down, forward and down. And we're going to do this a few times. So inhale, toes lift. Exhale, reach them forward and down, pushing the pads of your toes down. And again, inhale, they lift. Exhale, reach the toes forward, press the pads down. There you go. And one more. Inhale, toes rise and spread. Exhale, place them down. Now this time, push them down. Imagine that there's a pencil or a penny or something, and you're going to try to pick it up. So crunch your toes like you're going to pick it up, and then place it down. And do that again. Try to pick it up and place it down. One more time. Pick up that, whatever it is, coin, and place it down. Let's do the other side. So now you're going to pick up with your other foot, crunch your toes, try to pick it up and place it down. Pull the toes in, try to pick it up and place it down. And one more time. Push the pads down, pull them in, try to pick up that coin and put it down. All right. Let's stretch our legs out. So stretch your legs out forward and feel your heels as they press down into the mat, and circle your ankles as you lift tall. Your hands can hold the side of the chair or not. And then reverse it. Reverse your circle. Breathe in and breathe out. And then pull your heels back in so they're underneath your knees. Inhale, lift the right knee towards you. Give it a hug in. Big hug. Take a breath in and out and circle the thigh around and about. We're loosening up that joint, and then reverse it. Reverse it. I always have to think about it to reverse it because we're not used to reversing our thigh bone as we circle it. And then place this thigh to the side. So we're going to start to work our thigh strength here. So we're making about a 90-degree angle. If this is if you're feeling a big pull in your inner thighs and you can close it up a little bit, it doesn't have to be a 90-degree angle. It could be more like a 60-degree angle. So once you've got your angle, push down your feet. Push down your feet and feel what happens to your thighs. They get a little bit more contracted, right? Touch them and give them a little wake up. Go ahead and give them a little, these are love taps, just love taps. Then release the pressure down, let that go. And now give them love taps again. Wake up, guys. Maybe go down the legs a little bit. Go down the legs and up the legs. All right. So now push your feet down like you mean it. Notice not only are your thighs engaging, but so is your belly. The belly is engaging as well as the thighs. Let's take our arms out wide. So this is actually a variation on Warrior 2. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's bring our fingertips towards each other. That's it. And then open it up. So we're gazing over our right shoulder. If your arms get down, then give them a break. And we begin again. Inhale, take your arms up. Maybe your gaze follows. And then pull the fingertips down in front of you and open it up. Now, push down the feet again. Take your forearm to the thigh and your right hand to your hip. I'm sorry, your left hand to your hip. I'm reversing you. Reversing, mirroring you. Okay, then take your arm and sweep it around and about a few times. Just starting to open up that shoulder. Beautiful. Nice little waves and circles. And then lift the arm up. Reach the fingers high to the sky. And maybe over the ear. But of course, this elbow can be bent. It's going to be wherever it is for you. And you might kind of play with moving the arm overhead and back. And you'll feel not only the elbow moving, but the shoulder blade moving. Breathe in and breathe out. We're going to push down through our feet now. Rise up. Rise up. That's it. Release the hands and walk your feet back towards each other. Take a block or a ball or toilet paper roll, and you're going to place it either the ball, the toilet paper roll like that, or here's my block, and put this between your thighs like a Pez. And hug your block. And notice how that engages your core, but you can feel your inner thighs working now. And then release. When you exhale, hug the block. When you inhale, release a little bit. Not so much that the block drops, but enough where you're not squeezing it. So exhale, hug. Inhale, let go a little bit. Exhale, we hug it. Inhale, we let it go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hug it in. And release. Now, we're going to play with chair pose. Chair pose is the pose for strengthening our thighs. So are the warrior twos. Now, you can have another chair in front of you for balance, so you feel safe. You might have your chair against a wall, or you could face the wall too for balance. We're going to rock. So this pose, chair pose, we've done it before. We're going to rock forward and back, and then eventually we're going to lift off. But maybe the first few times you don't lift off. Now your hands, they can be in different places. You could have them at your hips. You could have them in Hakini Mudra. You could have them forward. You could also, I know people start off the first few times using their hands on the chair. Try not to use your shoulders to lift. Try to use your core and to push down through your feet. Let's try it together. So we're going to rock forward and back, wherever you want to place your hands, and then maybe rock it a little bit so you start to lift off, but maybe you don't lift off fully. I think I'm going to show a side view of this so you can see what I mean. So you're coming up, but you're not coming up all the way. Oh, there goes my purple pad. It's kind of a nice little pad. All right, here we go, like this. So rock forward and back. And then eventually push down through the feet, and maybe the hips lift up and maybe they don't. I see some of you coming on up. So when you rise, let's see if we can stick it. What I mean by sticking it is sitting bones back, shoulder blades on the back, sitting bones back, thighs working. Tell me if your thighs are working. Give me a thumbs up. Yep, thighs are working. And so we could stay here for a breath or two or longer. Let's lower down the first time. We're going to just let it go. Take a little break. You can use the block or not use the block. It's an option. Another thing to do, and we've gone over that before, is where you put a strap around your thighs. So you're pushing out into the thighs. You don't have to do this. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. But I want to show it because it helps to activate the outer thigh. So I guess we think about when we're strengthening thighs, you might just be thinking about the top, but the sides, the abductors and the adductors, the inside and the outside are important too. So if you have a strap, you can place it around like this and then get it out of the way so you do not trip on it. And then we can rock forward and back again and push our thighs out into the strap and lift up. So if you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. Lift without it. Maybe we take our arms forward this time. Yes. Maybe we take our arms outwards this time. Pull the shoulder blades on the back. Take the sitting bones back. Notice how the weight is in your heels. Feel it in the center of your heels. You're still pushing your toe pads down. Let's exhale and have a seat. Woo. We're working on, should we work towards holding this for a few, like a defined number of seconds. I have to get my glasses and my stopwatch to be able to do that. But I think that might be kind of fun. So don't do what I do, like get up with the strap like that. That's not a great idea. But I'm going to put the stopwatch on and we're going to hold it for, I'll tell you when it's 15 seconds and I'll tell you when it's 30 seconds. Let's just see how we do. All right. I'm going to tell you 10, 20, and 30. When you're ready to lower down, just lower down. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. So we're going to rock forward to back. And then when you're ready, lift off wherever you're at. And I'll tell you when we get to 10. Make sure you're breathing. I've got the cane in front of me, which is fine. We're at 10 seconds. And if you come down, that's fine. Maybe take a rest and try again. Here we go. We are at 20 seconds. Awesome. You might lower down, and that's absolutely fine. Be where you're at. Almost there, almost at 30 seconds. Woo! We did it. We did it. So the point isn't that you're going to try to make it to 30 seconds. The point is that each time you do it or play with it, when 10 seconds seems easy, then maybe move to 15. And when 15 seems easy, move to 20. So we can play with how long do we hold these poses, and the benefits start to increase. They start to increase. Should we try that one more time or move on? Who was it who suggested thigh strength, right? Let's try it one more time, just for the fun of it. You can hold on to a stick or a yoga strap or a block if that helps you, or nothing. I'll show you with the block what it looks like. All right, I have to use my glasses with this. All right, here we go. Get ready again. Rock it forward and back. And when you're ready, lift off. And we have the clock. It is starting. Sitting bones back. Make sure you're breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out. We are at 10 seconds. Is it easier or is it harder this time? Just kind of notice. Just kind of notice. What if you were to do this every day? We're at 20 seconds. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breath is in. Breath is out. And 30 seconds. Have a seat. Woo! Woo! That was fun, wasn't it? You're like, I don't know. Maybe it was fun. Maybe it wasn't. All right, we'll move on from there. But I do like to play sometimes with timing yoga poses because you get to see how it strengthens you, and there's studies on these poses and how long we hold them has certain benefits. Like for osteoporosis, we want to hold them at least 12 seconds. That was a definitive study on that. So let's rise and go towards a warrior two pose, which is also very strengthening. You can also sit for warrior two. So here's warrior two, either like we started with that angle or taking the leg out to the side. You can also sit towards the corner of the chair to make your warrior two pose. Let me show you what it looks like standing. So standing at the back of the chair, we start in our mountain pose. Take a few breaths once you get to you can do this seated or standing. You choose which one's right for you. Then you can have your fingertips lightly touching the chair, or take a nice wide step and turn your right toes out. Turn your right toes out, and then bend your knee over your heel. So we're lifting and lengthening the leg, and then we're exhale, bending and lowering. The knee is going right over the heel. I'm just showing you. If you draw a line from your knee down to your ankle, that's about where you want the knee to be. No deeper than that for sure. So here we are in our warrior two. Your hands are on the chair, or maybe you lift one or both up for your warrior two. Breathe in. And breathe out. Notice how your legs are working. You're pushing your legs down. As you push your legs down, push your feet down. Feel the muscles on your legs activate and maybe pull your heels towards each other. You can even kind of play with your hands doing it at the same time if you're not touching the chair, but maybe you are. Maybe you are. And then straighten the leg and take a break. Let's turn the right toes in and turn the left toes out for warrior two now on the left side. So we get tall once again, light touch on the chair with the hands, push the feet down like you mean it. Try not to lock your, actually it's the back leg. You don't want to lock that back leg. Bring the left knee over the heel or ankle. You can adjust, making a wider stance or a narrower stance, meaning maybe this isn't wide enough and you walk your left foot out of it, or maybe it's too wide and you walk your feet in a little bit. The deeper you go, the more you're going to feel this in the thigh. You also want to feel balanced though. So here we are in our warrior two leg stance, and maybe we lift one arm and maybe we lift both, gazing over the front fingertips. Breathe in and breathe out. And feel your feet as they push down. If you like, touch your thigh and see how it's working. Now, to really work it, you push the foot down and you pull your heels towards each other. Pull them isometrically towards each other. They're not really moving, but you're pulling them like a magnet towards each other. And then maybe you lift the back arm, maybe you don't. Let's straighten the leg, give it a little break. Turn the toes forward and lock your feet back towards each other. I hope you're having fun with this. Guess what we're going to do now? We're going to go back to warrior two and time it. So you can either be seated or standing in your warrior. And so I will set the timer and we'll just see how it goes. I'll do the 10, 20, 30 again, and we'll check in. So find your stance, warrior two on the right side, turning the right toes out, and the left toes are going forward. Push that heel away. That's helpful for balance. Then bend your knee over your ankle heel on the right side. You decide your arm position, and I'm going to start the timer. So here we go. Starting. I'll tell you when it's 10 seconds. You decide if you're going to stay longer or you're going to come out of the pose. Make sure you're breathing. It's most important to breathe. We are past 10 seconds. We're going towards 15. Maybe you have your arm out to the side. Maybe both arms. We're at 20. Make sure you're breathing. If you have to come out of it, please do. Don't push yourself over the edge, okay? All right, we're at 30. Stop. Reset. Bring the toes forward. Let's go to the other side. Turn the left toes out. Grow tall through your spine. Pull your belly in as your ribs move back. Bend your knee over your ankle or heel, and here we go. Knee is over, ankle and heel. Maybe you open one arm, maybe you open both arms. We're at 10 seconds. Time really it goes fast, doesn't it? You can relax your shoulders. You can always have a hand down. We are at 20 seconds. Breathe in, breathe out. Really feel now this left thigh is working, and you're at 30 seconds. Come on out of it and walk your feet back towards each other. I hope you're having fun with this. Are you ready we're going to do our leaning goddess pose, and you can be standing or seated. I'm going to show it seated first, so you might do both. So we're going to have a nice wide stance. I'm going to take this back a little bit. And so we're in our wide stance, and push your feet down like you mean it. And maybe take your hands either to your hips or to your thighs. Roll your shoulders. Let's roll the shoulders a few times. Roll them up, back, down and around, forward, up, back, down and around. And then reverse it. Up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. Now, pull the ribbies in, lean forward, breathe in, and breathe out. And breath is in, and breath is out. So we're leaning forward, not very much. Keep your shoulders on your back, and hands can be on your thighs, at your hips, or you could fly and have the arms out to the side. Yes. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. You might even have a little bit of a pulse here. We're gazing forward and down to keep the back of the neck long. Like you have a beam of energy going from your tailbone up through your spine and through the top of your head, your royal crown. And then push down and rise up. Bring your feet together. You can do that again, or maybe you do it standing. I will show you the standing version. So here we go. Now, the chair can be either way. Make sure you're not going to bump into the back of the chair. But if you want, you have to decide which way you like it, or maybe play to decide whether you want the front or the back of the chair facing you. So we're going to go wide stance. Take your feet wide, your toes are out now. Bend your knees, so your knees are going outwards and they're lining up with your middle toes, which means you don't want your knees rolling in like that. I don't know if you can see that. This rolling in we don't want. We want to push the knees outward towards the pinky toes, and you're going to go as deep as you're comfortable, or maybe slightly more. Your fingertips might touch down to the chair, and then lean forward a little bit with your hands on the chair, shoulder blades on your back. So this is one place to be, right here. You might take one arm out to the side. You might take the other arm out to the side, or both. And here we are in our leaning goddess pose. Sitting bones are back, knees are wide and open, and slowly come out of it. Notice how your thighs were working. Should we play with the timer with this? Just to see where you're at. Please, no self-judgment. It's just a way of seeing where you're at. It's not a good or a bad. Let's say you're like done at 5 or 10 seconds. That's just it. You just know that's where you're at. And then you play with it. So you choose seated or standing. And maybe next time you increase the time, maybe you don't. It's going to be dependent. How did you sleep last night? How do you feel today? There's so many factors that go into our energy each day. So step your feet wide, turn your toes out, fingertips to the chair if you're standing, sitting bones back, and here we go into our leaning goddess. You choose what you're going to do with your hands. Up and back, sitting bones back. That was just 10 seconds right there. Pull the ribs back, breathe in, breathe out. We're at 20 seconds. Do you believe it? Push your feet down. Push your feet down. Hands might be out to the side. You may be coming out of this pose. You might go back in. We're at 30 seconds. Come on out. Walk your feet back. You can play with this. You could play with going up to a minute. Over time, right? Like not necessarily today, maybe another day, maybe another day. Let's play with balance as if we weren't already. So we're going to play with, we'll play with seated spinal balance. Then we're going to play with, I'll show you a standing variation. So first, seated spinal balance looks like this. Take your right leg forward, push the heel away from you, maybe the left arm out to the side, and grow tall through the spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Now maybe your heel goes down, and that's perfectly fine. Breathe in and breathe out, and breath is in and breath is out. Let's switch sides. I don't know, I keep bringing this chair up a bit. I'm going to take it back so make sure you see me. So now it's left heel is down or leg is up and right arm is out to the side. So be heel down or heel up. Pull the ribbies back. My ribs tend to go forward, but if they're forward, it's hard to engage our core. So we pull the ribs back, lift up tall, then we're using our center. You can hold on to the side of the chair, or maybe have your hands on your left thigh. Breathe in, breathe out, and release. Let's switch it now and alternate. So like this and like this. One side, then the other. Just a little bit of alternating. Super good for us. Super good for us. Good for the brain. Good for some rhythm. We have rhythm, right? Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. One more each side. And release. Now for standing pose, and we can certainly get up doing our chair pose to get to standing. So another chair pose. Here we go. Lift it up. This time with your chair pose, push down through your feet to rise up. Yes. Now, hold on to the chair. You could have two chairs. You could also be against the wall, your side to the wall, or facing the wall. We're going to stand in our mountain pose and push the feet down and feel nice and tall. As we push our feet down, we push our toe pads and our heel down. You feel the core engage. You might feel your hips engaging as well. And then let's play with transferring the weight. So transfer the weight to the right leg and the left leg and just kind of sway a little bit as you breathe in and breathe out. You can hold on to the chair or not. We're just swaying. And notice how that can play with your balance right there. I should have this out of the way. So going side to side. Next time your weight is on the leg that's closest to the chair, lift the opposite. So grow tall and maybe lift the toes. I'm lifting my right toes or heel. Keep long through the other side and maybe lift the leg a little bit, but try to keep the spine lifting tall. This knee is, this leg, the standing leg is strong. And then place it down and switch and go right and left. You could be doing it like this. No reason you couldn't be like this for this part. So eventually now we're going to take the weight to the opposite leg. So for me, it's the right leg. Strong right leg, push the foot down and go onto the tippy toes of the left side. And play with arms out to the side or holding onto the chair, one or the other. One or the other. Maybe you lift the heel up and flex the foot. Keep tall. Gaze forward at something that's not moving. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe you lift the other arm, maybe you don't. Notice you might feel a little bit of shaking. Then put your hand down. It's okay to have a little shaking as long as you feel safe. Come on down. And let's sway again. Sway again. And then let's circle our hips. Circle them around and about. Breathe in. And breathe out as you circle your hips around. We want to make sure we don't get too tight, loosey-goosey. And one more, we're going to play with transferring our weight and maybe lifting a leg. So it looks like this. Step your right foot forward, your left is back, and sway going forward and back. So by the way, you could be like this. You could have the chair like this and your hands at the wall and the foot's forward and you're like this. So you got the support of the wall or maybe two chairs, one on either side of you. I'm going to show it this way. It's just hard for you to see. So here we go. We're rocking forward and back. And then we're going to take our weight to the front foot, soften that knee, come onto the toes of the back leg. So you're lifting tall, and maybe you lift the leg up, maybe you don't. The other arm is either on the wall, the chair, maybe it's your hip, or maybe it lifts to the sky. Breathe in, breathe out. Yes, and bring the foot back down. That was fun. Let's do the other side. So you might switch. If you're on the side of the chair, you might switch which side you're on. You might not. Let me get this phone out of the way. Let's rock forward and back again. Just a little bit of rocking motion. Notice how we're rolling through the feet, and you might pick the front and the back foot up as you lean front and back, and see how that feels. And this might be enough. Just playing right here could be enough. And then maybe you switch your weight to the front leg, come to the back toes, hold on to the chair or not, and you choose the hand position. It could be arm out to the side, it could be arm up, it could be hand on the wall or a chair beside you. Maybe you lift the back leg up a little bit. See how that feels. You're pushing down firmly through the standing leg. And then release. And bring your feet back together again. Back together again. And we're going to go down to the earth now. With these two. These two bums. So go down safely. Putting the chair against a wall is nice. You definitely want a sturdy chair that's not going to knock over. And you might use a blanket under your knees. My dogs are on my blankets. I have to get this one over here. But good to cushion your knees. Be safe no matter what you do. If you're going down, you want to be able to get up again, right? So I'm going to move the chair out of the way after I show. So one way to go down is hands on the chair and then lower one knee and then the other. Take your time. I'm going to move this out of the way. And then we will find our way to hands and knees. So table pose. And you might have the blanket underneath your knees. You might have a blanket underneath your knees. So here we go. Onto our table pose. So knees are about hip distance apart, and hands are about shoulder distance apart. Spreading our fingers and walking our knees back. So we have a nice long table and long spine. So sitting bones and sacrum, they're moving back, and crown of the head is moving forward. Feel your shoulder blades come onto your back. A good way to do this is let's find cat pose, chin to chest, and then cow pose, shoulder blades come together. Exhale, we round one way. Inhale, we lift and round the other way. So cat and cow pose. So exhaling and inhaling on the cow, exhaling on the cat, and then find your neutral table. Find your neutral table, and we'll play with lengthening the back leg. I don't want to kick Oscar, but you could have your toes down. My leg's going to stay up here so that I don't bug Oscar. And we're gazing forward and down. Forward and down. And then you might play with a few little pulses of up and down. Now, if you're in the chair, you could take your leg forward and do a few pulses, flexing the foot and then pointing the toes. We're going to pull the knee in and circle it out to the side for doggy fire hydrant. Bring it back. And one more time, circle the knee forward, out to the side, back, and down. And let your hips sway to the right and to the left, and we'll do the other side. I will turn. So knees are under hips. And if your arms get tired or your hands get tired, take a little break. Maybe come down onto your forearms. That's a nice option. We're going to extend the left leg back and maybe lift it up, push the heel away. And then maybe lower the toes down and lift it up. Now your leg is working here too. You can flex the foot and push the heel away. You can point your toes and point them away. Breathe in and breathe out. And then we're going to pull the knee in towards us, out to the side and around. It is harder on your forearms to do that because you have less space. So if that's not working for you, don't worry. We've already done a few hip circles seated. So you can try it. It's just not going to be as big of a movement. I'll show you what I mean. Knees in, out to the side, back and around. It's just a little bit crunchier space. Like that. And then let's take a child pose. You guys have been working super duper hard. So child pose. We're going to take our knees apart and our toes towards each other. Now, if you tend to cramp on the top of your foot, then try to put a rolled blanket or pillow underneath your feet. And then your knees can go as wide as you like or as narrow as you like, and walk your arms forward. Now, if you're in a chair, you can use 2 chairs. With a chair in front of you, you could have your hands on the chair in front of you. So it looks like this. And sitting bones are back. And let your hips sway right and left as you breathe in and you breathe out. Side to side. And then enjoy your breath here. You might walk your hands towards the right, so your arms are going towards the right, a nice side bend. Your hips are going to go towards the left. If your shoulders are tight, you might bend your elbows in and rest your head down. That's a possibility. Take some nice full breaths to really get a nice stretch through the left side of your body. And then let's walk our hands over to the left side. And again, you're going to bend your elbows if your shoulders are tight, like so. So either way is good. Either way is fine. You're going to get a stretch through the right side of the body. And then we come back to center and lift back up. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Let's do a bridge pose. And the bridge pose can also help strengthen our thighs. And I will show you what I mean. Put this to the side. And if you have a block, bring it with you in a strap since we'll be down on our backs. So come on down into bridge. So you're on your back. I don't want to bump into Oscar and Felix. We wouldn't want to do that. So feet are about hip distance apart. And feel your feet. Now, if you tend to cramp, you can walk your feet away from you a little bit. So away from your hips. Feel your shoulder blades on your back by pressing down through the sides of the body. A lot of people like the robot arms. We're going to push our feet down and lift our hips up. Now, as you press your feet down, notice how your thighs are activating. Take a few breaths here as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And then exhale and slowly lower down. Notice how your body feels. We're going to lift up again. Push down through your feet. Inhale. Lift your hips up. Now, if you push down through your heels and lift your feet, you're going to feel even more action in your thighs. So the more weight you bring towards the heels, so you can see I'm pushing down through the heels and actually the rest of the foot is up. That's going to activate the thighs as well. Now place the feet down and lower down. You don't have to do it. These are always options. You do not have to do everything that's suggested. Let's go up again into our bridge. Now, transfer your weight to the right foot. You don't have to lift the left foot, but just play with pushing the weight down on the right foot and then switch to the left and switch to the right. So we're pushing down and then we're releasing. Push down through the right, release. Push down through the left, release. Right and left and release down. I bet you feel some working going on either in the glutes or the thighs. One more time. We're going to push down, hips rise up. Now here's a choice for you. You can transfer the weight to your right foot and maybe lift the toes of the left up. Maybe, maybe not. Some of you might extend the leg. So just to give you a little challenge, and then exhale, lower down. Breathe in and breathe out. We're going to push down, rise up, transfer weight now to the left foot. Maybe the right toes come up. Maybe they don't. You could think about lifting your leg and not lifting it, or you might extend the leg. You might not. You might lift it up. Some of you might lift it up. And then exhale, place it down. Take a break. Let's bring our knees in and roll around on our hips. Enjoy a little back massage. And then we're going to go to number 4 because we worked our hips. We want to make sure we loosen them up a bit. So place your right ankle over your left thigh and gently press the left thigh or the right thigh away. If you don't feel it, if you don't feel a stretch in the right hip or inner thigh, then go ahead and lift the leg towards you until you do. And then stop and breathe here. So you could have your hands interlaced behind your thigh. You could have your hands on your foot and your other thigh. I liked my hands on my shin, but that's just a personal preference. Make sure you're breathing and feeling a stretch now in your right thigh. This is also wonderful in the chair, this pose in the chair is really nice. And then we're going to switch it up and do the other side. So left ankle over right. Maybe you feel the stretch with the right foot down. Maybe you don't. If you don't, lift the knee in and pull it in towards you. And then make the movements that help you feel a nice stretch now in the left outer hip or inner thigh. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in and breathing out. Relax the jaw. And then come on out of that. And if you have your strap, take it. We're going to place it around the right foot. So place the strap around the right foot, left knee is bent. Start there. Now your leg may be out like this, or it might be up like this or somewhere in between. Go to the place where you feel a stretch. So if you feel a stretch here, then you don't need to lift the leg up. If you don't feel a stretch here, then start to bring the leg up so that the leg is over your hip and your knee may be bent and you might be feeling a stretch, or you might need to lengthen it to feel the stretch. And then relax and breathe for about 5 to 10 breaths. You can also straighten the bottom leg if you're not feeling it with the knee bent. Otherwise, keep the knee bent. We're pushing the big toe mound away from us towards the sky. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. And when you're ready, you'll switch sides, putting the strap around now your left foot. And again, you could have the leg out here. I don't feel a stretch here, but many people do. So this leg is stretching away from me, or the leg is above and straightening it to your ability till you feel a stretch. And no further. And then option to straighten the bottom leg. Option. For some of us, we feel enough without straightening the bottom leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the sensation of lengthening through the back of the thigh. And then when you're ready, after several breaths, go ahead and release it and find a spinal twist to start to close our practice down. So bringing your knees over to one side and relaxing. Arms can be in a cactus or long. I've got one hand on my thigh and the other one is out to the side. You might play with pushing your shoulder blade down. That always feels really good. And you might gently turn your head to the side a little bit. Never crake the neck, but you might like a little bit of movement. Again, staying about 5 breaths or so. Now it is the end of the practice, and if you wanted to stay longer, you could. I'm going to switch it up now and shift the hips now to the right and let my knees come down to the left. And you can try that out if your spine doesn't feel lined up. Oh, look at this. Oscar's head is on my shoulder. I don't think I'm going to be able to move, guys. Enjoy your spinal twist. Breathing in. Oh my goodness, Oscar. He's the best cuddler, honestly. So we're in our twist to the left side. And then you're going to lengthen into your Shavasana when you're ready. So for Shavasana, you might put a bolster underneath your knees or a pillow, or even a rolled blanket works. That can be nice, just enough to give the lower spine a little space. And you might cover yourself with a blanket if you're feeling chilly, and relax in your resting pose. You want to have your shoulders on your back and your palms facing upwards. You might put your feet up on the chair and allow the body to relax. All that work you did, it's really, really important for the nervous system to have this reset time. Think of it as the time like you're resetting your computer or you're resetting your clock, or it's just a little break of breathing naturally with ease, allowing the whole body to relax. Whole body relaxing, observing your breath, feeling the sensation of this resting pose. Real important to do it. I know it's really easy to shortchange yourself, but it'll help throughout your day, just a little break. So you stay as long as you want in your resting pose. I'm gonna come on up to close the class, so roll to the side in a fetal position, and you might stay in that fetal position for a while because that's a nice place to be too. And then when you're ready, you use your hands to come up to seated. So take your time, enjoy this Friday. It's your Friday. Give yourself permission to take this restoration before you move on with your day. And to close the class, we'll bring our palms together. And Oscar, Felix, and I are so appreciative to spend time with you. Much gratitude for being with all of you today. Namaste. I'm here for